throughout the cup stage, but now in the circuit, their Rogue Mage Paladin looked good. Jellybeans and the BM Hunter looked really good. They've got 2 of those as a big threat. Are Hamsters and Hares ready for potentially the new meta?
That is the question. We know Golden Guardian certainly is, but is Hamsters and Hares going to be able to meet the challenge, rise to the occasion here? Very, very strong team right now. Both of these guys are fighting to remain in that top 4 here. This is a very important match for these guys if they want to solidify their spot even more before the next time we see these 2 teams for the next cup, for cup number 3 in the circuit. So important, very important to get those match results in. Hamsters and Hares versus Golden Guardian. Game number 1. And look at these comps as well.
Where are the beans?
We're sad.
Well,
we're sad.
So can we really be sad to see Gold Guardians lock in their RPS? I feel like this is a pretty exciting matchup. Hamsters and Hares are going to be bringing in Roastyz on that Assassination Rogue, and it looks like we will get a remake here of this game number 1, but we got a little bit of information here just on what compositions both these teams will be running. Hamsters and Hares with their Rogue Mage Paladin, and the Golden Guardians, I don't think we've seen them run it yet. Their Rogue Shadow Priest Shaman since the changes. I think this composition looks good, then I feel like Golden Guardians is they're set up so well for this particular meta. They just have a lot of different compositions. And I'm thinking that all of them will be strong. I mean, what do we think about this one? Who do you think is going to have the edge?
I'm not sure. I mean, it is kind of funny, like you pointed out, like, are we really sad about seeing Shadow Priest Rogue Shaman for Golden Guardians? Like, that's their main team comp. But it's like Jellybeans. I don't know. Like,
I know, we love Jellybeans.
It's so hard to decide, like, what do you want to see? And I wonder what they were anticipating, if they thought they'd play Rogue Mage, and after seeing the Warrior Mage 2 in Europe start to kind of dismantle the Hunters, maybe they felt it would be better to test the waters, see if the Shadow Priest Rogue is still an option.
Well, when Golden Guardians played Shadow Priest Hunter against Charlotte yesterday, they looked better when they actually had a rogue instead of playing their like wizards and their normal stuff. So from what I'm gathering on this draft is Hamsters and Hares, they did not want to run into that Shadow Priest Hunter without having Roastyz on that rogue. So they bring him in, potentially thinking that they're going to get, the Rogue Mage Paladin versus the Shadow Priest Hunter Shaman. But instead, they are greeted with the Rogue Shadow Priest Shaman. And typically, when we've seen Golden Guardians play Rogue Shadow Priest Shaman into like Rogue Mage Healer, they're the team that comes out ahead. So this is a matchup that they're pretty comfortable with. But I don't know. In Shadowlands, it's a little different. It can go either way. I would say if both teams play perfectly, I would say the Rogue Mage probably wins. But with Golden Guardians, I don't know. I think they're one step above perfection when it comes to that Shadow Priest Rogue. And from Hamsters and Hares, we haven't really seen them on that Rogue Mage Paladin that much.
Okay, well, we're going to have to see what they do. Game is started, ready to go. As you guys may or may not know, they can remake that game if the gates have not yet opened. So thank you to everyone in chat for being patient while we got these teams ready to go here for the restart of this game. It is Hamsters and Hares versus Golden Guardians, and now we're going to see them play.
All right, 7 seconds away. Yeah, 7 seconds away. Shadow Priest Rogue Shaman for Golden Guardians. Hamsters and Hares going to be locking in the Rogue Mage Paladin. Both these are very aggressive compositions. I expect the main target for Golden Guardians, a lot of the time they like to have multiple pressure points in the match, so kind of expect them to be bouncing around. I really feel like for Hamsters and Hares, they're going to be mostly looking to shut down Wizk in this matchup.
Yeah, we're going to see if they're able to do that. Right now, Pikaboo is going to be the one opening up here. He's actually playing the Assassination Rogue, full kidney shot. He gets the blind onto Zach. Zach trades out the Blessing of Protection. Pikaboo still has his Vendetta. If he wants to, he could actually swap to Zach, but they're still going to do more crowd control here. Wizk now in a kidney shot. No crowd control on the Absterge. Earthen Wall Totem is down. Pikaboo is in a polymorph here, getting decent amount of pressure. onto a floor mat with those bleeds, but it's going to be Wizk with that Power Infusion doing most of the work right now. He needs some more crowd control. There's a psychic, there's a silence right there from Wizk, but no Psychic Scream yet to follow it up. Full Hex onto Roastyz, gets decursed there by Floormat. Floormat drops low enough to have that Save by the Light proc here, and now here comes the setup. Absterge and Hammer of Justice. Big damage to the Wizk!
He's dead!
Oh.
And there it is. I mean, Hamsters and Hares cannot... the thing is, Hamsters and Hares, you cannot sleep on this team. I mean, all three of us had our predictions in favor of Golden Guardians, but you mentioned it, Sid. I mean, Hamsters and Hares, they were the champs of Cup number 4, and they put out a lot of pressure in this game 1. No, that is true, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I had it right all along.
Yeah, I know something. But, I mean, you know, it is only game number 1 here. Golden Guardians certainly still has the chance to turn this one around here. We'll see here once game number 2 gets started, if they can do that. But we're going to get a replay very shortly of how it all went down for game number 1. How Hamsters and Hares shut that one down.
Shut it down. And, I mean, yeah. Zico, if you want to walk us through this one.
All right, so here they're just waiting for the Earthen Wall Totem of Wizk right now. Floormat drops a little bit low here with Zach being silenced, and Floormat in that kidney shot, and then Zach gets that big heal on the Floormat. They get a counter spell on the Wizk. They have Combustion just rolled up. Shifting Power is there. Full kidney shot. I actually don't understand, how did Absterge get out of that Hammer of Justice? It was just a Combustion there from Floormat. How did he get out of that Hammer of Justice? It looked like he got Master Spell, but I swear Wizk was in a stun, so I'm not sure how he did that. But yeah, he still got crowd control out of it, so yeah, I don't know. It's just a surprising amount of damage there onto Wizk, and if you're playing against a Rogue Mage and you're a Shadow Priest, it's pretty tough.
It can be. I don't know, I feel like I'd have to watch that replay again. I wonder if that was, I mean, Floormat, he got a Tinder Fireball, Combustion, Fire Blast off. Yep. So it was a pretty decent amount of damage, but I feel like Roastyz already had kind of like softened him up at that point with his Assassination Rogue. I don't know if that was Vendetta or not. It might not have been. Yeah, okay, pretty, I mean, Assassination Rogues are quite strong right now. Let's take a look exactly what happened again with the replay. Roastyz, he hasn't used his Vendetta just yet, but I'm looking at Wizk's health, because, I mean, he has the Dispersion, but I swear that really was an unexpected amount of damage. And we can maybe see what happens to the Hammer of Justice as well. All right, so those are the things we're looking for in the replay.
Oh,
Healing Rain! He pre-Healing Rains it. Okay. So Healing Rain dispels himself out of the Hammer of Justice, and looks like he will fall. Roastyz didn't even use the Vendetta.
No.
Kind of crazy. Wait, so this begs the question. Are we seeing Jellybeans? Because I feel like we are.
I hope so. I think that's their problem. They didn't play Jellybeans, and then they lost.
Bring out the beans.
Got to bring out the beans for game number 2. And then they'll win the whole series. But we are going to find out if they do that. If we do see them bring out the Shadow Priest under composition, do we want to see Hamsters and Hares play that same comp? I mean, I know that they'd have to blind lock their comp, but what would be a better matchup for them?
I think the Rogue Mage Paladin is pretty good overall. Like, I would be kind of surprised if they switched it. It's a pretty safe pick in a blind pick scenario. They got to kind of feel out what the matchup looked like when Charlotte Phoenix played against Golden Guardians yesterday, and it wasn't unwinnable. It didn't feel like from the side of Charlotte Phoenix. So if I was Hamsters and Hares, that's what I would feel confident picking in. You definitely wouldn't want to go. I don't think they'll go with like Ellie Mage, because the Shadow Priest Assassination Rogue should kind of rip into that. So yeah, I think blind, Rogue Mage, Golden Guardians, they answer with the Hunter Shadow Priest, would be my guess.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we're seeing Rogue Mage Paladin from Hamsters and Hares, and from Golden Guardians, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna lock in the Rogue Shadow Priest Shaman again, just because of like that was just a game that it literally just started. Both teams had all of their cooldowns.
Okay.
Okay, so we're definitely seeing, I think, a Rogue Shadow Priest Shaman here from Golden Guardians. I don't know if I like this pick from Hamsters and Hares. I think they should have stayed on the Rogue Mage until they're forced off of it. I think this is a big mistake
have Will Ferrell on his shirt right there. Do you see him?
Will Ferrell
geeking
versus
out?
Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell
Mariah
1-0.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's say what they do here. We've got Golden Guardians timer started right now. They're talking things over, taking a sip of an energy drink, getting ready to go here for this second game. Golden Guardians want to be turning this around, tying this game up for them, putting themselves back in the series. So the huge question right now is, are they going to keep playing the same composition with Pikaboo, or are we going to see Jellybeans step in? What is the better choice here? And then what were you going to say, Sid?
I didn't. I don't think.
I
think.
No, I thought you.
I think Hunter
thought I heard an,
Shadow Priest wouldn't even be bad. Like, I don't know about Rogue Shadow Priest. I kind of feel like the Rogue will get pulled into really bad spots. I actually think the BM Hunter makes more sense, and just play a standard game. But okay, Rogue Shadow Priest.
I swear, Necrolord Assassination Rogue is actually really durable. Weaving in the Fleshcraft, having Cloak and Vanish. I don't know. Assassination Rogues, I feel like are kind of underrated right now in terms of their overall damage and their ability to survive. So I'm not super surprised that Golden Guardians would try to lock this in. I think in general they'll have a lot of pressure against both Vellido and Floormat. The one thing that's nice for Hamsters and Hares is the map pick. So potentially their pick was just purely based off the map. It's a large map. Play Ellie Fire Mage, which is pretty consistent, and I think the Paladin covers some of that maybe potential weakness that they would have against the Assassination Rogue. All of a sudden you have the Blessing of Sacrifice, you have the Blessing of Protection to try to pick up some of that weakness in terms of defense. So I would say Hamsters and Hares probably disadvantaged here, but I don't completely mind their line of thinking.
Okay. Hamsters and Hares switching it up in response to Golden Guardians map choice. So do they win game number 2 heading into Ashman's Fallers? Golden Guardians going to be taking this one here with their comp that they played in game number 1 with Pikaboo sticking to that Rogue and Wizk on the Shadow Priest. We, saw them. We were all hoping for Jellybeans to come out here, considering how Golden Guardians did yesterday with him, but he is going to be staying on the bench for now, supporting his team here for this next game. But we'll see what they can do. Golden Guardians, I mean, obviously they have confidence here in this matchup. Otherwise, they wouldn't, they wouldn't be going here with this choice. So we'll see what they can do, and I'd like to see them tie it up. Soupsies.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely can, but also at the same time, Ellie Shaman is known to just kind of steal games away, so they can't underestimate the one shot that's available to Vellido on that Elemental Shaman. Golden Guardians are going to have to play on the edge of their seat basically the entire time. There's no comfortable moment in the game for them. And the map isn't really actually doing them any favors, I feel like. Why?
Really?
Like, you've got
Golden
a Shaman,
Guardians?
you've got infinite mana.
Oh.
Why would you pick a map that's easier for the Paladin to drink? And Hamsters and Hares is going to play a Paladin.
Yeah.
I don't like the map from them.
What do you want? Carrion Domain? Is that...
No, just smaller maps, I would think. Or at least more neutral, like Tiger's Peak. This one seems really odd.
Okay, well, go ahead.
I think they picked this map actually to kind of bait Hamsters and Hares here. I think
To switch?
they have a worse map, but they have a better matchup. Like, they don't have to play against a Rogue Mage. They just have to play against the Ellie Mage. And I feel like the only way the Ellie Mage wins is if Vellido gets a jackpot again. But I just don't see that happening.
Jellybeans, someone?
Exactly. We'll see if Vellido can Vellido somebody to the floor.
Okay. All right. Enough of that.
Don't be mad you didn't come up with it.
Stormkeeper from Vellido. Scary moment. How are they going to deal with it? Their line of sighting. Vellido wants to move in, but he actually gets feared up by Wizk. Nice punish. Wizk and a poly. Pikaboo's moving in. Looking for a stun. Gets Frost Nova. Stuns Vellido on his cooldown. Silence on Zach. Good coordination by the Golden Guardians. They're fishing right now for cooldowns. Trying to bait something of significance. Holding on to that Vendetta. But Pikaboo gets caught in a lightning lasso. This is the dangerous part of this map as the Rogue. And when you get kited out into the open and stunned up, you're very susceptible to getting bursted. Pikaboo manages to slip away, though, back behind the pillar. This is Combustion, so they want to just avoid a fight, stay back on the pillar, get a re-stealth, figure out where to go from there. Now moving up on Zach in stealth. It's unlikely he's going to go for a sap here. I think just stun Vellido, stun Floormat, Shadow Step over on the Thunderstorm, reconnecting to Vellido. Zach dispelling off. trying to stay ahead of the damage, but now Pikaboo caught in a lightning lasso around the corner. Good positioning by Vellido to avoid being wind sheared by Absterge. Earthenwall answers it. Big damage on the floor mat suddenly here from the Golden Guardians, keeping them back and pushing both of them away at the same time. I really like this targeting from the Golden Guardians so far in game 2.
Yeah, Vellido has a lot of damage available right now with his Sky Fury Totem. Floormat Vellido just going to keep trying to bait Pikaboo. That's exactly what they want to do. Bring Pikaboo behind the pillar, get a lasso on him, go for a combustion play if possible. Floormat now just has his second combustion available and ready to go, so we'll see if he can get it off. Vellido gets caught into a fear. Beautiful setup here by Wizk, and they manage to get the cauterize and the sacrifice, the trinket sacrifice at the same time. So an overlap there, missed timing by Hamsters and Hares is going to pay off for Golden Guardians. Pikaboo gets a re-stealth as well. This game is going pretty well here for the Golden Guardians as they look to make another push.
Yeah, let's see. Pikaboo in stealth right now. He's going to have a big Garrote silence. He's just going to go for the kidney shot into the blind. There's the Garrote as well onto floor mat. Big damage here. Zach has no trinket.
Nice.
Get a Hex there onto Vellido as well. Full
Oh!
Beautiful chain here. Can they continue it? Floor mat trying to get away, trying to get some polys here, but Pikaboo's all over him. No cauterize. He's in Shadow Ward depth range, taking so much damage. There's the wings from Zach.
Bomb.
The smoke bomb. Floor mat thinks out of it in the last second there. So close call right there. They don't get the Divine Shield though from Zach, which was the big objective here. Still, the CC chain is going. Floor mat is interrupted. Shifting power comes out. Floor mat's trying to juke the kick. He just got kicked. It looks like he's going to swap here with the beautiful combustion with the lightning lasso. Absterge in a hammer of justice. Vellido has so much damage. He's going after Absterge. Absterge just doesn't feel safe at all. They're trading out his trinket. There's a blessing of protection now onto floor mat. Gets purged off. Silence onto Zach. Still a lot of pressure here. Absterge looking for some hexes here potentially. Floor mat still trying to weather the storm here. Might have to just, I don't know what they can trade out here to keep him alive. Maybe a blessing of protection from Zach. They're trying to stall with the blessing of freedom here. Floor mat trying to get some distance. And Zach here with the turn evil on the mind bender, just doing anything he can to reduce the damage Floor mat is taking. And finally, it looks like Floor mat's going to be able to get some breathing room there. But that was an extremely close call.
Oh, Zach can't even sit down for a drink for a second. Golden Guardians have huge momentum. Right now, Hamsters and Hares are just banking on a one-tap on Absterge. That's where all of their damage has been going so far, so Absterge just needs to be aware of this and get ready to protect himself. It's basically Absterge versus Vellido, a shaman fight. Who's getting better hexes or getting better stuns? And that could allow Hamsters and Hares to pull off a victory, but they are very far behind at the moment. Here comes the silence. Floormat's on the run. Wizk channeling a mind games, trying to bait some interrupts and get that mind games onto Floormat. Zach is trying to line of sight, catching some big heals with that Avenging Wrath, managing to stabilize, but it's costing his man a nice fear. Vellido gets a Tremor Totem, though. Mirror Image just preemptively on the kidney shot. Well played by Floormat, but Zach doesn't feel comfortable. He's going to trade Sacrifice, redirect a lot of that extra burst damage. They really need to set up a drink. If the Golden Guardians can just stay on top of Hamsters and Hares, they're simply going to overwhelm them.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they... I feel like that's exactly what Golden Guardians always wants to do in a matchup. Keep their opponents on the back foot, keep pushing in, keep getting the crowd control, keep getting the consistent setups. Pikaboo now goes for full blind kidney shot onto Floormat. Gets an alter time, resetting some of that damage as well as a blessing of protection there by Zach. So some defensive cooldowns traded out, but that will keep Floormat alive for the time being, going in for some polymorphs. But where really is the opening? I mean, Pikaboo's got Trinket, he's got Cloak of Shadows. Absterge now has basically all his defensive cooldowns. He used Astral Shift to avoid some of that incoming damage from Vellido, but with his Trinket and Spirit Link, I feel like he's looking pretty safe. Big damage on Floormat. Double stun coming in. Pikaboo is all over him. Triune Barrier just gets shred through immediately. Wizk gets interrupted. Nicely done there by Floormat. Still just on the run, trying to get away. But right now, Golden Guardians is not giving them any room to breathe.
Yeah, Golden Guardians in complete driver's seat here so far in the matchup. Pikaboo's in stealth, trying to get a sap onto Zach. Zach realizing it, staying in combat. There's the Psychic Horror onto Zach. Where's the silence from Wizk? There it is. Shadow Crash comes in. Zach with the War Stomp here while he's silent, just trying to mitigate the damage any way he can. Vellido as well with a couple of off heals. There's a Lightning Lasso onto Pikaboo as well. Preemptive feint onto that. Floormat though getting zapped here by Absterge, and Zach sitting up for a drink here. Pikaboo channeling the Flesh Crash.
Seed!
And that's going to be the seed procking here. There is
Bomb.
nothing for it. There's a smoke bomb. There's a sheep shot onto Zach. And that seed is going to get dragged out of the mud. And Golden Guardians are going to take game number 2, tying us up 1-1 here.
Well played. I thought that would be more scary for the Golden Guardians, but they definitely, their tactic was, as I think Zico said, was to bait a comp swap. They don't want to fight Rogue Mage Paladin, so they're like, here you go, Hamsters and Hares. Here's Ashamane's Fall. We know you want to bait that Ellie Shaman out. Ellie Shamans love this map. You're going to pick Ellie, right? And then they picked Ellie, and they're like, yes, you fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. They got the matchup that they wanted. They got them off the Rogue Mage. Now moving to the third game, where they don't have the advantage, I wonder what will change, because look at this. I mean, even just going play by play at this point, we've already seen it once, but just look at the deficit, how far ahead Golden Guardians are. Out of mana, Holy Paladin, basically no cooldowns on Hamsters and Hares. They haven't really gotten any pressure on any target. They can't drink. They're pressured the whole game. I mean, this was completely one-sided. I feel like if we see another map locked in from the Golden Guardians, like a big one, I don't want Hamsters and Hares going to this comp again.
What would you rather see them play then?
Just Rogue Mage the whole series, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Warrior Mage if Absterge's team switches to Rogue Mage and you can pick into it. Maybe then switch on that, but generally I think Rogue Mage when you know what's coming your way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, tied up now here, 1-1, best of 5 series as well. It's going to be Hamsters and Hares map choice. So if they do we feel like then, Super Teams, based off of what you're saying, do we think now their best choice is to pick something more suited for Rogue Mage and move forward from there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're probably just going to play Shadow Priest Rogue, I think, the whole series regardless. I do wonder what map we see from Hamsters and Hares. I think probably Tiger's Peak. I feel like something like just middle, nothing too big, nothing too small, just right. The Goldilocks treatment for the maps. And then we're probably going to see Rogue Mage Paladin versus Shadow Priest Rogue Shaman would be my guess.
Yeah. That all sounds really solid. I think pretty much the same thing. Medium map, probably like Tigers, sounds good. And yeah, I think Golden Guardians, they have to blind lock Rogue, Shadow Priest, Shaman. If they blind lock the Hunter Shadow Priest, I think there's going to be some warrior-based comps maybe that Hamsters and Hares can run. And we saw what happened to Facile in Europe when he went up against Blizzo. I think something similar could happen. It feels right now, at least, that the BM Hunter's weakness is like a good arms warrior. So I don't know.
Well,
yeah.
On the Grand, that's what Charlotte Phoenix ran, and they got smashed. This is the most one-sided game of yesterday.
Yeah,
remember,
but
they played warrior.
Yeah, that's true.
Might be different with the Shadow Priest. It's just such a different matchup, but yeah, I mean, we could see some warrior-based compositions for sure. I don't know. We're hook point, so already the theory's been thrown off. They're going super small, smallest.
Mistake.
It's as small,
Mistake?
as small as you can get.
100% mistake.
I think I feel like his RPS is you're just happy with this map always, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, so.
In RPS versus Rogue Mage, is it a mistake? I feel like it's a good map for the team that is the aggressor, and I feel like that team is the Rogue Mage, but I feel like it can, whatever team gets the pressure is going to have a easier time kind of riding it on this map.
I don't like the map because if you have to drink, you're not going to be able to as Hamsters and Hares. Like,
yeah,
you're auto-assuming the Paladin's going to oom faster. So if you need to drink, if it becomes like, oh, they're trading effectively and we're going into a late game, there's possibility now for them to lose on mana. Normally, maybe this small map would have made sense if there was an easier target to rush. But I feel like none of the targets on the Golden Guardians, assuming they trade cooldowns, are actually good rush targets. They have so many different outs. Maybe Pikaboo, but as Necrolord, he's a lot more durable, harder to kill as well. So I'm personally not a big fan of this. I think, again, the neutral map where it lets you be aggressive but also lets you have the option to drink if you need to would have been safer from Hamsters and Hares. So this is Golden Guardians' opportunity, I think, to kind of take the series back if they can take the swing match here.
Well, in week number 1, when we spoke to Roastyz behind the scenes, they were saying that they weren't really getting as much practice in as they hoped. That was week number 1, so maybe they put even more time in there on the tournament realm. But they said if they put in the time, they know that they have a wide range of compositions that could basically beat any team here, and they should be able to do pretty well. And we've seen them have pretty good success so far. We know where they're placing right now, so I feel like, you know, it seems like this might be a bit of a risky choice here, but from Hamsters and Hares, but hopefully it pays off for these guys. We're seeing Golden Guardians sticking with that comp too, or as well for these guys. So we'll see what they can do here on hook point. What should we be looking then for Zico on the side of Hamsters and Hares? What were those setups look like if they want to try and get Golden Guardians down one?
For them, it's all about getting those Paladin setups into the mage CCs. So you want to have Zach run in, get the Hammer of Justice. You want to have Floormat follow up, get the Ring of Frost or the Sheep. And then you always want to have something for Wizk. If you're targeting Wizk, well, you don't need to worry about it too much. Your rogue is going to kidney shot him, and then you're going to develop pressure on Wizk. But if you're going for Pikaboo, for example, you need to make sure that Wizk is also cross crowd controlled, or that he's at least, that you have a counter spell for his master spell. And you have a way to stop his healing. Here we go, first setup of the game. Hammer of Justice. They don't land the Ring of Frost. Zach is actually getting stunned here. They have a silence. They have a silence to follow it up as well. Floormat, though, with a nice alter time. Both teams so far surviving the opener without having to trade a lot. Absterge trinketing out of the blind here. So Absterge is also a swappable target for sure. Anytime they have that combustion, they can Hammer of Justice, kidney shot Absterge as well and swap to him. So Hamsters and Hares, they have some opportunity here, but now it's going to be a blind onto Zach, which he's going to trinket, and there's a good pressure from the Golden Guardians onto Zach as well as Floormat.
I think they want to set up a swap to Absterge. They're waiting for that Earthen Wall totem. Is Absterge ready? Pre-astral shifts. All the defense is down. They counterspell him. That could be lights out. He goes for an Ascendance, a desperation play, trying to stabilize with Wizk's assistance. They go for an aggressive Blessing of Protection. They're all in on Absterge. Is Absterge going to fall? He survives the smoke bomb for a couple more seconds. Is he going to get the link off? He's trying to go for some Spirit Walker's Grace heals, getting a lot of big healing surges, a healing rain onto the whole team to dispel crowd control. Nice Psychic Scream. Perfect turnaround opportunity for the Golden Guardians. They get evasion from Roastyz, potentially getting a kill. Zach is still stunned up. They're swapping back to Wizk. Wizk's going to save, but Roastyz is just dying to Pikaboo at the moment. Pikaboo goes for the kill. Zach blocks it with a sacrifice, but the damage is still sticking. It's not the ultimate sacrifice. That's it. It's over. Pikaboo rushes him down. Hamsters and Hares went for an aggressive play, an aggressive map, and it backfired. And now Golden Guardians are on match point.
Yeah, what an important game that was, too, for the Golden Guardians. A swing match on, honestly, a map I feel like was a bit of a misplay there by the side of Hamsters and Hares. Golden Guardians going to be taking full advantage of that one with their RPS. They strike back. Now they're up in this series, one away from closing it out. And I mean, that would be absolutely beautiful for them. They're 2-0 so far in this round robin. If they can go up 3-0, their chances of qualification are looking really good.
Yeah, and we're going to see the replay right here. This is kind of the swap. They blinded up Absterge, and they wanted to go for him with a big Vendetta Combustion. Combustion, though, gets dealt with immediately. Wizk dispels it, Pikaboo kidney shots the mage, and then they start immediately turning up the pressure here onto Roastyz. They already blinded Zach, so he trinketed that. They get a full Psychic Scream, follow it up with Psychic Horror, and then at this point, there's the sacrifice coming out, and it's not going to be enough. Pikaboo realizing that it's the baby Zach bubbling out of crowd control, but it's not going to be enough. Pikaboo just trinketing the first thing that hits him there, and just zug. They're able to get that kill. Absterge actually able to get that kill.
It actually was the ultimate sacrifice. It just the last 6 seconds that it just faded. He was just low the whole time. He didn't get healed, and then it ended up fading, and he died.
Oh, well, those are the new Paladin changes. Ultimate sacrifice lasts, I think, 6 seconds now, right?
Yeah, it's short for sure.
So you can just kidney when it's up, and it will disappear in the kidney like that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, Pikaboo adapting well to the new patch there.
Yeah.
It's definitely something you want to see with these guys. Golden Guardians, though, putting themselves in a very good spot here in this series right now against Hamsters and Hares. Losing on your map choice can be detrimental in these series, and now Golden Guardians on match point, very close to closing out this series 3-1, and my prediction was wrong.
Mine is still alive.
Yeah, yours is still alive.
Yeah.
Everybody else but me.
No, I'm wrong. I said 3-0, so I'm out.
3-0, okay.
Ooh,
right.
Ruins.
Mine could still be a possibility. Mine could still be a possibility.
Wait,
Zico's looking more likely, though.
What's your?
I said 3-2 Golden Guardians.
Oh, yeah.
Yours is actually, like, I could see it happening right now, but mine's possible. Yours has higher odds right now.
You're in a difficult spot, CPTs, because Basically, this is match point on Runes of
Yep.
Lordaeron, but
Yeah.
if you say it, it's going against your prediction. So, what are you going with?
Trying
Yeah,
to,
what
trying
are
to
you
say
gonna
that I
do,
can't say it.
Sipsies?
Well,
You
I'm
can
saying
just
you
say
can
it,
say
be
it,
wrong.
but then you're not believing in your prediction. So
Say it.
I always
Say
say
it.
that
pick.
it would be a fitting final. I never say that it is the final resting place. I said that it would be it's open-ended.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
True.
So you just be vague and foggy and leave it open-ended, and then you're never wrong.
Yeah.
And you could say it every time.
So as long as you're ambiguous, can't be wrong.
Exactly.
They start
Yeah,
doing
I
that with
like
my
that.
predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I could see either one of these teams win. I'm not sure. Someone's gonna have 3 at the end of it.
So it's gonna be a winner.
There's
so it's
definitely
gonna be a
3
match
points in
point.
this series. One of these teams is definitely getting 3 points.
Bold. Oh man, but look at that instant lock-in from Hamsters and Hares. They are absolutely confident going into this game, despite them being 1 loss away from losing this series here against Golden Guardians. They did not hesitate at all. It looks like they already had that draft pre-filled and just hit enter as soon as Golden Guardians used their draft timer. And it is Ruins of Lordaeron. They're sticking with that composition, Zico. I feel like these guys are confident going into game number 2 that they can tie this up. Game number.
Yep.
What is math for?
Yeah. What is math? Well, I don't know. Actually, here we got.
I was kind of looking forward to you explaining math.
Well, no, that's gonna take way too long. We don't have that long left for this series here. I can kind of already see a vision here with the Golden Guardians looking pretty happy. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Absterge and his build. I think it's a little bit more interesting than math. No offense.
It's fine.
So Absterge is running that cleansing waters. It's the thing that caught us off guard in game number 1. We were like, wait, what? It looked like his Hammer of Justice got master spell. What happened there? When Absterge drops a healing rain, he every time it ticks, if the tick crits, it dispels all crowd control on everybody in that area. So Absterge, anytime Zach is charging across the map to try to land those Hammer of Justice that Floormat wants to land those sheeps out of, Absterge is trying to drop a preemptive healing rain, and then he's just hoping that, it ticks at the right time and it crits and removes either the sheep or it removes the Hammer of Justice and allows him to maybe ground the sheep or wind shear the sheep. And it's actually very nice because it's buying them a lot of time here. For Hamsters and Hares, the name of the game for them is just consistent setups. They need to land Hammer of Justice on cooldown, they need to land Polymorphs on cooldown, they need to develop pressure onto Wizk. But with Absterge's build, it's actually just adding in one extra thing that they have to keep in mind and that they have to play around. So I really like it.
Okay, let's see what they can get done here with that healing rain. They actually counterspelled the healing rain. Good counter, but no damage really to be found. It's actually Roastyz that got peeled by Pikaboo. Mind Games, big fish by Wizk, huge hit. Zach dispels it into a full blind, tricketing right away. Dragons with Poly on Pikaboo. Floormat is desperate. They're on match point here against the Golden Guardians. They're very low on health. Their Golden Guardians going to be able to close it out. They need to start recovering. They commit the Avenging Wrath, but they get silenced on it. Roastyz has to vanish defensively. That's a big damage cooldown for an Assassination Rogue to have to trade out defensively. Golden Guardians are in an amazing position.
They really are, and I think going after Roastyz in this matchup is such a huge improvement in strategy for the Golden Guardians. Going after Floormat, I just feel like he's just so durable, especially if Roastyz can do whatever he wants. So Pikaboo committing his kidney shots on Roastyz I think is really, really strong. He can get a little bit of residual damage on Floormat if he needs to, put interrupts on him, but I think the kidney shots on Roastyz are super duper effective. Wizk taking quite a bit of damage with a polymorph on Absterge. Floormat going to be blinking in, shutting down the Master Spell with a Dragon's Breath, but not accomplishing too much. Now kidney shot on Roastyz. He's forced to trade out his Trinket and the Cloak of Shadows and the evasion. He's got nothing, and he gets dropped! Golden Guardians with all-out aggression going after the Rogue. I mean, that strategy worked out beautifully, and they claimed this series. They are 3-0 now in the circuit, and they are looking good.
The Golden Guardians are back. What a nice way to end that game as well. They get the smoke bomb, they get the kidney shot on the Roastyz, the trinkets, a little bit late, they get the DR sheep shot as well, and they're able to take him down in that DR sheep shot.
Yeah, the Golden Guardians definitely are back, Zico. And you know what? I thought it was Jellybeans, but that was their lucky player. But you know, I think it's Mariah Carey. As soon as we started seeing her behind them, it's when we started seeing those victories.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell's not having a good day today.
Yeah, and I mean, Mariah Carey, she's just getting older and wiser here with her birthday being yesterday. So you can definitely tell these guys have been getting some good intel on how to play the game. But here we can see it. Kidney, Smoke Bomb, and there's the Trinket. They get him a little bit lower with that Psychic Horror into the silence. DR Cheap Shot, and Venom, bam. Pikaboo takes him down, and that's it. 3-1. Who could have guessed that this matchup was going to go 3-1 in favor of the Golden Guardians? Wow. Just absolutely
Well,
shocking.
the only thing